So they're very digestible, and that's the part we're starting to realize, and they're very high in micronutrients, they're high in protein levels. So the testing of it, and that's where we've run into some trouble with that, is they need to go to a lab that understands all these different species that are in these mixes. It's not corn, it's sorghum sudan grass, it's not canola, it's kale brassica. So they need to understand that. And what we've found is when they test it correctly, we have a whole package of nutrients that are there available for the cow. So that goes back to the stage of the cover crop too. So like I showed some of those pictures of very mature, that isn't quite as digestible because you got more lineant into the stalk. When it's shorter at that knee high to waist high area, that's probably the most digestible part of it. So each species is a little different, but the bigger it gets, the more mature it gets, the less the digestibility is. So that's why we like it taken earlier, taking multi-cuts. We get more benefits and advantage. Plus it's better for the soil because you're constantly stimulating growth, you're stimulating micronutrients being moved through the plant. That all has a total effect on what's going on. So when you go to your inoculant supplier, explain all the different species you're using. And if they have questions, they need to contact somebody who sold the product to them. So it's like, say if I've sold a cover crop mix, have them call me so I can explain to them what is in the mix. So, because these inoculants are a lot of very specific for more of a grass, more of a legume style. There's not really an inoculant that I know of, and I used to sell this based on a brassica. So it's kind of a deal where you got to work with the system that you have. That's why I talk about like the oxygen scavenger products. They're going to remove the oxygen from the bale and let it ferment well. Those are ones you probably need to look at with these multi-species mixes. Earlier season seeding is what we're looking at. So like in the corn, we're using the annual ryegrass and going in V2 and V3. We're giving that plant time to get established in the summer, go dormant, and then start growing again. So now it's maybe already rutted down 8, 10, 12 inches down. Now it gives a top growth. So maybe it only gets 6 inches tall, but we got a great rooting network underneath there. So that kind of takes some of that part of we're not going to get that sunlight in October. Because that has been, we didn't think about that until about a year ago. Somebody brought that to our attention of we aren't getting the sun in October. It's very cloudy. You look at the rye stands, this annual rye stands, some of they're just spindly. They're there, but they're just not strong and robust. And they need sunlight for that. So earlier seeding. Adding a third crop in your rotation, maybe raise some oats so you can put a multi-species in. So August and September, you're capturing that sunlight. Then if it doesn't grow really aggressive in October, it's not the worst case scenario because you've gotten a lot of growth from August and September.